Hey, it's the Fatboy Show on your number one station, RX Radio. Are you driving as you listen to all the amazing music we're playing for you today? And if so, let me ask you this. How do you find the roads of Kampala? They are so bad, aren't they? Which is why over the last week or so, there's been a trending hashtag on Twitter in which people are voicing their frustration with the state of the roads in Kampala. It's been trending for a couple of days now, which prompted KCCA, Kampala Capital City Authority, which is in charge of the roads within Kampala City. It prompted them to release a statement. They had to react. The pressure was mounting. And if you saw the statement that they issued, it was mostly comprised of complaints and excuses. Oh, too many cars, congestion, wear and tear. And then also they were citing lack of funds, that they didn't have money to conduct these repairs. The state of the roads in Kampala is so terrible. It's like, there are no words. Like, you can think we're in a war zone. Like, it's almost like Ukraine. Missiles have been dropping, and so there's craters all over the roads, you'd think. It's insane what's happening. And Kizza Besigye, an opposition politician, had something really spicy to say about the state of our roads, and I just want to share that with you right now. And it was quite a powerful tweet that, got me smiling. He was basically saying that, look, I saw someone say that when we post the roads with potholes on social media, that we scare away tourists. You want the tourists to come and drown here? The roads are constructed for us first before the tourists. This is Besigye. So much truth in that statement. Don't you agree, Olive?
I agree. It's like saying that you're going to hide the rot in your house or the dust in your house just when the tourists, visitors are coming in, but the house is yours before they come. So why don't you keep it clean at all times before you get visitors?
Exactly. Otherwise, you're just wasting time.
Yeah.
Well, the battle over the potholes of Kampala has now found its way to the Parliament of Uganda, with the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, now directing the Ministry of Kampala Capital City and the Metropolitan Affairs to present a statement regarding the funding for construction and the maintenance for roads for the past 3 years. And also they want a status report on the state of the roads in the country. And Tayebwa, the Deputy Speaker who chaired the plenary on Tuesday afternoon, said that, look, Kampala potholes have become a crisis which needs urgent attention. He said, quote, social media, especially Twitter, is awash with an exhibition of potholes in Kampala. We have potholes of every design and size, deep, shallow, wide, narrow, filled with water, dry ones. They are all in Kampala. This is what the Deputy Speaker told MPs. Imagine you are from URA, Uganda Revenue Authority, from sorting your tax issues and then passing in potholes and breaking your shock absorbers. And then you ask yourself, why? I ask myself how ambulances navigate these roads, especially with pregnant women, he said.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, they're facing the heat, the people at KCCA. I saw that their public relations guy even had to do some podcasts explaining it, the whole problem. But once again, these are excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Olive, I feel that if they feel they need money or they lack the money to fix the roads, that it is their job to bring this to the attention of the people concerned, which in this case I think is the government.
So Dorothy Chisaka, the managing director, KCCA, said that they normally need about 75 billion shillings to repair roads, to work on the roads in the Kampala Metropolitan area. But they fail to do this because they are normally given way less than that. And on that, they have to do road maintenance and sometimes even work on newer roads like tarmac roads. So she says the money is not enough. But still the question is, okay, we understand the money is not enough, but then why do you let the roads get to a point where you now need to refurbish the entire thing and need to put up a new road? Because in some cases that is what is required.
And also, I feel like the argument would be more convincing if we could be shown some roads that have been worked on that are in a good state.
Oh, they can. They lately they like to tell us about the Ntinda stretcher roads. They like to talk about Ring Road. They like to talk a few. And honestly speaking, the roads are nice, but vis-a-vis the others that are not, there is a pothole that has made news over years in along Sir Apollo Kagwa Road. That road is very busy. It's the road that you ply if you're going to northern Uganda, like Saapolokagwa, Bwaise, then you continue. It has terrible potholes. Then there are potholes in some roads in Makindye. There are potholes in some, like everywhere, even outside KCCA's jurisdiction. But still, these are potholes. And the question is, you guys, you're always collecting taxes. The potholes are the tourist attraction that we have. And
Literally.
you want us to, what, hide them?
And, for all the noise we make about our wildlife, or that we have all these national parks and we have all these animals, perhaps the most crucial aspect of infrastructure that is taken for granted in Uganda is infrastructure. Because, a tourist is looking at the whole package. A tourist isn't going to parachute from the sky and land in the national park. Right from the airport. How is the service there? From the airport to the hotel, how's the transportation network, the road network?
Yes.
All of these add up to the experience.
To the entire package that you're selling.
Package. So you could have the most beautiful waterfalls, but if the road to get there is just so in its sorry state, it's going to take away from people's experience, and they would much rather go to countries in Asia where they have better infrastructure.
Exactly, because when I save my money and I want to go away for a trip, I also don't want to imagine myself pushing my car because the country where I went for a visit cannot maintain their roads. They cannot work on their infrastructure.
Did you see that? Remember that video of a tourist who
and
got
his
stuck?
wife and his daughter, and they were all dirty. Actually, that wasn't even a tourist. It was someone that was, I think, running a charity in the country. And he was like, we are bringing money to help Ugandan children. And look at us. That was so embarrassing.
Ugandans these days, people, when they get a little bit of money, they do travel overseas to tour. Thailand is increasingly a popular tourism destination for Uganda.
You know why?
No visa required?
No visa required. They have, like you said, good infrastructure, but also it is cheaper to fly out to Thailand or Dubai than to go to some places within our country.
So, for example, a weekend at Para Lodge or Chobe Lodge is probably going to be 10 times more the money you would spend if you went to, say, Bali or one of those beachside, those oceanside towns
and
in
even
Indonesia or Thailand, where you get a cottage on the ocean and you're paying maybe $20 a night.
And there are different activities you can do. I don't know. And you see tour operators in the country. There was a conversation during the pandemic because at the time their usual clients were not coming in. So they had to now turn around and look at Ugandans, look at the local tourists. And that's when they were trying to promote local tourism. But then after we went out of the pandemic, they started saying that we are not the target market, that Ugandans are terrible, terrible. What's the name for someone that is in a hotel?
Guests?
That we are terrible guests, that we steal towels, we leave things dirty. we take cutlery. So you guys also have to work on yourselves.
We drench their mattresses.
And in some cases that too. So they were saying that we are not good guests, and obviously they used to say that we are not willing to spend as much as foreigners do.
Well, in that case, we have a big problem. If the infrastructure is piss poor, and if the hotels and the parks don't care so much for Ugandan guests, I don't know, man. Everything's just upside down, and I don't know if we're ever going to be able to fix this. Also, I want to ask you, Olive, do you think that this the attention that KCCA is getting is now going to cause heads to roll at KCCA? Because right now, there is some promise that in the OPM, the Office of the Prime Minister, that there is now some serious accountability that they're going to seek there, with several ministers being arrested in relation to the OPM scandal, the Iron Sheet scandal. Now, do you think KCC will be the next hotbed of scandal and accountability and arrests?
Well, if someone has been squandering money, then yes, there might be some things unearthed.
Since the Speaker is asking for full accountability from the Minister of Kampala, might this unearth some problems.
Yes.
With the funding and stealing of funds and embezzlement.
So you may find that it may go beyond KCCA because Dorothy Chisaka said that they get money from the Uganda Road Fund and from Uganda Road Fund, and then of course they work hand in hand with Uganda National Roads Authority. So if someone is sitting on some money or approvals or release more little money vis-a-vis what they were supposed to release, I'm sure there will be a comprehensive investigation, and then we will find out. Are you getting ready for another scandal from another part of government?
It looks like that's what's going to happen. But time will tell.
Time will tell.
Previously I've undermined
social media
activism or slacktivism, as I've called it before, where you just make noise on Twitter and you think you're changing anything. Well, it would seem I may have to eat my hat.
Actually, you're going to eat your humble pie, and I've been telling you.
Because in this instance, the social media pressure is what has prompted KCCA to respond, and what has prompted the Deputy Speaker of Parliament to try to hold the Kampala Capital City Authority accountable. So,
and it is still the same that has made some ministers, be arrested, investigations into the Mabati scandal. So maybe we are getting somewhere. It works. I've always told you. I don't know how you never saw that, but it really works.
Wait, and the president again blocks access to Twitter. You think that's not going to happen?
He only does that when it serves
Because if people start to feel too sweet, that they think, so you think this Twitter thing can cause me damage?
Oh, by the way, there was also a Twitter space where, of course, it is said that the president was engaging people, but I think someone who manages the president's account was having a conversation on Twitter with people regarding the Iron Sheet scandal. Yeah, so slacktivism works. If the president's account can be engaging people, we are getting somewhere.
All right then. So keep up the pressure on social media. By the way, speaking of social media, feel free to follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Look for RX Radio on both those platforms. Follow us to get updates on all of the shows, all of the interviews, and all of the videos we post. Speaking of videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are quickly nearing 1,000 subscribers. We might throw a party when we crack 1,000. We'll see about that. Keep listening to your number one station, RX Radio.